All right, that was awesome. And hopefully you enjoyed your previous break because we get no break right now. We actually have our next speaker. Lily, are you there? I see you on. Are you there?
I am.
You are awesome. Just making sure I don't do an intro and then, and here's Lily, and then no one's there. So cool. I saw you were on. Just a few quick words on Lily. I met her at the inaugural Purple Team Summit that SANS did. She was a speaker there with me, and awesome talk. And when we were planning this one out, I said, hey, you're all doing some pretty cool stuff over there at the Air Force, which she had already shared once with us, and see if there was a way to come back and share some more skills and more really share the knowledge and the different programs available for us and for people getting into offense and how they can do it in an ethical and a way with permission. So Lily is with the U.S. Air Force. She's a security engineer. And without further ado, turn it over to you, Lily.
Thanks. Well, if I can figure out slides. Yeah, thank you. So after listening to Leslie's talk this morning, I'm a little bit self-conscious about my lighting, microphone, and background, so I hope it works well for everybody. My name is Captain Lillian Warner, and today I want to talk about hero hackers, or how you can use your offensive skills to help the Air Force. I have worked under 4 different MAJCOMs, or major commands, in the Air Force, and I've supported a few others. Throughout my jobs, I've been lucky enough to spend most of my time doing incident response and red teaming. And I also get to speak at the Purple Team Summit. So I'm here to share information I've gathered and help you contact the right people. I'm not an official spokesperson for any of these programs, but as I've been involved with multiple parts of the Air Force, I realized that I couldn't keep track of all the programs we offer, so how could outsiders know what they are and where to go for more information? I want to preface this presentation with, working with the Air Force used to be a very monolithic position, where you joined and you stayed until you retired. Well, my Air Force is prepared for people to join, work hard, help serve, and then leave. We're not trying to keep you forever, and it's a really great way to get some training. So today, I want to share information about how you can serve in the Air Force through the HackerOne bug bounty programs, SBIR and SBTT funds, AFWerx and AF Cyberworx, and the software development factories. Each program has different requirements on participants, from citizenship to more restrictive lifestyle requirements. So I want to provide you with the right terms so you can pursue the opportunities that are right for you. So, if you're not familiar with HackerOne, they facilitate bug bounty programs, and you can access the Air Force through the Department of Defense's page. It covers the Pentagon, Air Force, and any public-facing website owned and operated by the DoD. This is a really flexible way to earn money, and you don't even have to put pants on. There was a file transfer service in one of my old jobs that had some pretty well-known bugs. You could access files, other people's files, by changing a string in the URL. Well, one day we looked at the TVs and we saw that somebody had been awarded money for finding and reporting this flaw. And we were all kind of shocked because we didn't even know that the Air Force had a program like this and that they would pay us for pointing out the things that were wrong with their software. So anyone vetted through HackerOne can participate, except for folks from China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. This is a website you can go to if you want to learn more. So I want to make sure to mention HATAST, which is another hacking challenge. Some of you may have participated in the initial qualifying round that just happened recently, but the finals will be at DEF CON, virtual DEF CON, with 50K going to first place, 30K going to second place, and 20K going to third place. This was put together by the Air Force, the Defense Digital Service, and the Aviation Village, which I recently learned has been changed to the Aerospace Village. So if you want to look for updates on that, you can go to their Twitter at Secure Aerospace. Small Business Innovation Research, or SBIR funds, incentivize businesses to work with the Air Force. If you have a startup with a product or service that has potential to be beneficial to the Air Force will pay you to find a customer, which is phase 1. Then you can trial your product with an Air Force team, phase 2, to hopefully reach phase 3, where once awarded, you can sell sole source to any federal agency. And that $50K for 3 months is the phase 1 benefit. AFWerx, Air Force Research Labs, and the National Security Innovation Network have partnered to make this process easier and to award more money than they ever have before. I listed some of the open topics at the bottom of the slide so you could get an idea of what tech they are looking for. This morning I checked out the website, and it looks like they've also switched focus to the COVID-19 situation, so they're also looking for tech regarding that topic as well. Small Business Technology Transfer, or SBTT funds, help small businesses commercialize emerging research in partnership with a university, a nonprofit entrepreneurship center, or a research center. Both of these programs require 50% American-owned businesses, and SBIR requires businesses to be less than 500 employees. I think the Air Force keeps saying small businesses, but what I've heard in industry is the term more likely to be used as startup. So anybody with great ideas can help solve AFWerx challenges. Oh, and I'm wrong slide. Or apply to attend one of AF Cyberworx problem-solving design sprints. For both opportunities, the Air Force lays out challenges that they're facing and looks for help leveraging new technologies and best practices to solve those challenges. AF Cyberworx needs military and government, folks from business and industry, and innovators and academics. When I attended one last year in Colorado Springs, we designed how to train and retain cyber talent for the Air Force. At the end of the works, I got to present our presentation to a few generals. I learned a lot about solution design from the design sprint, and I made really valuable connections in the Air Force and in industry. Connections has actually helped me get my new job. AFWerx is a community of innovators that connects airmen to solutions through funding, collaboration, and mentorship. They have hubs in DC, Vegas, and Austin. And they've got 3 programs that I'd like to highlight today. AF Ventures, where they harness SBIR funds. Technology Accelerator, which provides startup companies with education, resources, mentorship, and access to investors and customers to bolster those companies' likelihood of success. So, free training. And the AFWerx Challenges, which combines defense sector, academic, and startup small businesses to collaborate. You can submit solutions to specific challenges. I listed a few challenges here on the slide so you can get an idea of their focus areas. If you're a US citizen and a developer, you can be hired as a government civilian at one of the Air Force's software factories scattered across the United States. I listed the locations, but at Kessel Run, we have transitioned pretty seamlessly to 99% work from home, so you may not even need to live in the local area. This is one of the more restrictive options I've provided, because as a federal employee, you may need to get a clearance. That means you must be a US citizen, no illicit substances, and no illegal activities. However, you do have access to good medical insurance. You can deploy if that interests you, and unlike me, you're not 24/7. So if you work overtime, if you work late, you get overtime or comp time. So when I asked my civilian coworkers, why should somebody become a government civilian? They told me, honestly, nobody's signing up for the benefits. Plenty of people either didn't or couldn't serve their country in uniform, and especially now, they're looking for a way to do more. A government job pays less in money than the private market, but someone joining Kessel Run has the opportunity to affect the way the United States fights wars for the next 20 years. So I'll provide a quick overview of these software development centers I've listed. BESPIN, or Business and Enterprise System Product Innovation, focuses on app developments. On the left, I listed some of their recent apps, and on the right, their mission statement. You can visit their site at Air Force BES to learn more. I've listed all the websites, Twitter handles, LinkedIn that I could find for all of these programs, and they're posted both on my Twitter and on the Slack channel. Kessel Run is the best software center, but I'm biased. Some of the products we develop are Kronos, not the banking malware. It's an interactive F-35 maintenance scheduler. Titan, a fleet readiness tracker, and Athena, a training management program. These are just a few of the really cool applications Kessel Run has built. Kessel Run is focused on delivering software for the warfighter. So they recently hired 130 government civilians in the last 18 months, with a vast majority of those hires having no previous affiliation to the Air Force or government. Kobayashi Maru, which was created to improve software acquisition for space systems. They work with the Space Enterprise Consortium to solicit bids on contracts and start prototyping. You may have heard of the one-year, $10 million contract signed with Palantir, a member of the Space Consortium, to help the Space Force provide data integration tools to track objects in space. I wanted to call out something that I've seen a few times on the internet, which is that the Air Force and Space Force is just naming stuff after Star Trek and other nerdy references. Well, Kobayashi Maru was born out of efforts in 2011 to better prepare our Air Force against threats of the future space domain. The intent was to modernize and replace the 40-year-old legacy systems with sustainable hardware, open, evolvable software architecture, in order to create a modern, predictive battle management command and control system for space. While this modernization effort had really good intentions, over the years it became increasingly complex and was trapped in the acquisitions process that didn't cater to modern software development. Kobayashi Maru was named after the unwinnable Starfleet Academy training scenario because this Space and Missiles Systems Center effort was commissioned to succeed at what some viewed as a seemingly impossible task. Delivering warfighting capabilities within a large bureaucratic government program, well, Kobayashi Maru proves that quickly developing and deploying effective software is, in fact, possible. I'll give you a moment to glance over this quad chart for yourself to learn a little bit more about the other software factories. These slides will also be available after the summit, so you can go back to reference anything you may not have had enough time to look at. So today, we talked about if you're a hacker, you can participate in the Air Force's Bug Bounty Program through HackerOne, or participate in the Aerospace Village. If you're a founder of a startup, you can apply for SBIR or SBTT funds. Anyone with good ideas can participate in a design sprint with AF Cyberworx or AFWerx and solve a challenge. And if you're a developer or you want to become a developer, you can be hired at one of the Air Force's software development centers. Thanks. If you've got more questions, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, and I'll help you find the right resource.
Awesome. Thank you, Lily. We got some questions here for you. One that I don't know the answer is, what are the age restrictions to join the Air Force programs?
For the ones listed today, I don't believe HackerOne has an age restriction, or at least I know the youngest I've seen is a 17-year-old. For being hired as a government civilian, I believe you need to at least be 18. I do know they have some trainee positions if you're going through school or not going through school and just want to be hired as a coder. SBIR, SBTT, I don't believe it has an age restriction other than 18, I would assume, but actually, you know, I don't want to say that because I haven't verified it. That is certainly something I will look up and post the answer to in the Slack channel.
Awesome. So yeah, with that, you'll be on the Slack channel. I saw that you've already been active there, so we appreciate that. And if there are any other questions, go ahead and post them on Slack, Hallway Lillian Warner. And thank you so much for your time. We are actually a bit early. So if you would like, you can pop over to track 2 for the talk that's going there. And we will be back on this track at 1:30 p.m. That is after our lunch break. So plenty of time. You can play the CTF. You can ask questions on Slack, or the CTFs. Ask questions on Slack or pop over to track 2. And thank you again, Lily. Really appreciate your time.
Of course.